thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. For those of you that are unaware, I review everything that gets released on Netflix. So if you're ever curious about whether a new movie, series or show is any good, come to my channel and I will let you know. And today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix film, Fever Dream. And that's exactly what this movie feels like. It feels like a fever dream. I've just finished watching it. Ultimately, we follow the story of a young woman, a mother, and she's busy speaking to this disembodied voice. And she's just recounting the events of her life, especially over the last few months. And that's a rough breakdown of the story. I don't want to get too much into it. This can become a very confusing story to follow. This can become a very unorthodox story, a very unorthodox film. And so I don't want to put my own interpretations of the movie into your head. I want you to be able to watch this thing and interpret it the way you want to interpret it. And I feel like that was the director's idea with this film. We were all allowed to come up with our own interpretations, and we were all allowed to analyze different aspects of this movie and ultimately get the meaning that we deemed necessary out of it. There's a lot of films like this that end with like almost an open ending and specific character fates aren't revealed. And it can work. Very often it can work very, very well. But did it work in this movie? I really don't think so. I found myself incredibly engrossed in the story, especially for the first two acts. And I really enjoyed the characters and I enjoyed the relationships that these different characters built up. But the conclusion just felt so anticlimactic. There wasn't a climax in this film. There wasn't this sudden realization and aha moment. While there are events that are considered the climax, they aren't very climactic. It just happens. And I remember just sitting there going, oh, okay, that just happened. And I felt deflated after watching this film, unfortunately. Everything that was built up, my enjoyments with these characters and my eagerness to see where they're going to go within the movie was just never matched. I feel like this is very much a movie where it's all about the journey and not about the destination, because when you get to the destination you are going to be underwhelmed. But if we take the climax out of the situation, I enjoyed the bulk of this movie. I think the performances were absolutely fantastic. The actors gave great performances. The two female leads in this film were phenomenal. While they might be very subdued, they're not very expressionistic, they're not larger than life. They're very subdued characters. Their responses and their reactions are very minimal, but there's a quaintness to it. They performed their roles incredibly well, and I found myself captivated by the characters. So I really enjoyed them, and again, that's what I'm saying, like I was eager to see where they would go, and I'm just really disappointed that the climax felt so underwhelming to me, because I wanted the climax that these characters deserved. We also need to talk about the cinematography, because I thought that was brilliant. We have some masterful shots here. You could honestly take the dialogue straight out the movie and just watch for the sake of the cinematography. There are some absolutely beautiful shots. There's some very unorthodox shots, and it matches the mood set by the rest of the story. The cinematography perfectly blends this eerie, unnecessary, uneasy feeling with the story that has those exact same moods. So in my opinion, a lot of this film is done expertly. The soundtrack as well expertly blends into all of these different traits, these fantastic performances, awesome cinematography, an uneery soundtrack. They all come together and they give you this great package. And unfortunately, when you open up this package and you see the climax, it's underwhelming. It's literally like getting this perfectly wrapped birthday present. And then when you open it, you see what's inside. It's just not what you wanted. And unfortunately, that's the case with this movie. All of the elements for a great movie are there, except for the climax, except for the conclusion. It feels like there's absolutely no resolution to any of the characters within this film. So yes, at the end of the day, if you're looking to be really invested in a story, if you're looking to really enjoy the characters, really enjoy some performances, then give this movie a watch. But just be warned, I feel like the conclusion is going to let a lot of people down. But also, I really feel like this is your stereotypical Netflix film. It doesn't get any more stereotypical Netflix than this. This is those lower budget films that feel like they're incredibly smart, that they want to say something incredibly intelligent, and they build up these great characters and ultimately does nothing with them. There have been a lot of Netflix movies like this, especially back in the early days of Netflix when it was still releasing a lot of original indie releases. So if you really enjoyed the early days of Netflix, again, then also check out this film. But I feel like almost everyone is going to be disappointed by this conclusion. I know I definitely was. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It really means the world to me. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you again in another review.